Hi, David here, the tinnitus coach. Charlotte just posted a message and she said she's in phase 2 of her recovery, but hasn't made it to phase 3 yet. And I just realized we have phases now. The I guess the recovery plan for tinnitus that I've been working on has evolved as we go. I guess the first phase is to see the doctor and make sure you're okay. The second phase is to get some background noises so you can maybe not hear it so much. And then the third phase is to start to get into some activities that help you to just get your mind off of it. And then the fourth phase is starting to have a different mindset about tinnitus. And instead of saying it's a bad thing, you say it's a good thing. It's kind of like a Jedi mind trick to change your thinking about how terrible it is. I guess phases 3 and 4 could be done at the same time, and you could do phase 4 before phase 3. I think the first two phases are like the first little band-aid you do to try to get just some progress, and then the next phases do take a little bit more time, unfortunately. So let me make this video about those people who are in, as Charlotte has now created phases, who are in phase 2, and you're trying to get to phase 3 or 4. First of all, you need to have some patience. So it does take some time to get where you're starting to not think about it. That's the big one that everyone has trouble with, and it's going to take some work. But I think you need to just get a plan. Like I would suggest getting a notebook and write in your notebook every day about what you're doing to not think about it, basically. So like maybe schedule some activities like reading a book or learning a language or drawing, anything that you could think of where you're actually going to schedule it on your agenda, and you're going to think about that thing and see if you can practice, thinking about that thing a little bit more than the tinnitus. And maybe you might also schedule a time to have a little chat with yourself about, hey, I'm going to change the words that I use to describe my tinnitus. And you might want to write down some of the things that you're thinking now. I don't know what you're thinking, but it might be something like, I just wish it would go away. I'm going to find a way to make it go away. I can't sleep. I feel so uneasy. I feel so anxious about it. This feels hopeless. Write down some of those statements, because putting them out on paper, just saying them aloud, and then coming back and saying, well, how could I change these statements? How could I, say, actually, my tinnitus is not so bad, and it doesn't have to be as terrible as I've been saying. And I'm going to start to reverse some of these statements that I've been making and change the language that I've been using. Because part of what has happened when you got tinnitus, it happened very quickly. You got this sound and you started saying these terrible things to yourself. Oh my God, I can't, make it stop. There's got to be something I can do. Oh, I can't sleep. And you started repeating these things over and over again. So you quickly built sort of what we call a neural network in your brain, where you programmed yourself to always have these repetitive thoughts. And this is a big part of what created that sense of hopelessness. And starting to reverse those thoughts and saying, well, maybe if you're not ready to say, I love the sound of tinnitus, you might be able to say something like, let's move it up a level, move it up a notch. Maybe from the thing of, I hate this sound, I can't stand it, to, I'm going to find a way to be able to deal with this. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way I can cope with this. Other people have done it. I can do it too. Change the language, even if you're not ready to fully accept and embrace this foreign sound that has entered your brain. What I can tell you, though, is the results can be marvelous. You can get to where your brain has just sort of classified it as something that's not such a big deal anymore, and you just don't notice it. Okay, I was just stopping to listen for the sound of my tinnitus, because that's sort of what's happened to me, is I've just sort of gotten to the point where it's sort of just one of those, like there's a refrigerator in the room right now that's making a noise. I think it's a refrigerator, and it's running, and like I'm not thinking about it, but it's always on. And it's kind of like that for my tinnitus. And so you can get to that point too. But that would be two ideas for you today would be to write down your negative thoughts and then maybe think about how you could change them a little bit to something a little bit more positive, at least like you're going to find a way. And then also plan a few activities that sort of challenge your brain to think about something besides the tinnitus. And it might be kind of difficult, but you try it anyway. I'm going to learn the language. I'm going to get these practice sentences and say them over and over again. Let's give you one. So I am very happy today. 今天我很开心. 今天 is today. 我 is I. 很 is very. And 开心 is happy. 今天我很开心. That's Chinese. So that's a sentence in Chinese, and you could say it over and over again. 今天我很开心. That means I'm very happy today. And you can just probably as you were listening to me just now, you were thinking about, what did he say? 今天我很开心. And then your brain had to stop and think about that. And then you didn't think about your tinnitus for at least a moment. Probably while you're watching my video, you didn't. So maybe you can kind of get a feeling for what we're doing here, trying to find things that kind of interrupt the pattern and get you thinking about something else. And the more you do that, it just starts to happen naturally. You don't have to try so hard. Yeah. Okay, so that's my video for today. I hope it helps you, and I'll see you on the next one.